Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for coming to our second program of the day. Next program is a conversation between Fanny Desroches and Anton Lee. Fanny is an artist working with photography, currently an MFA candidate at NASCAD, where Anton is a professor of art history and contemporary culture with a focus on photography and photo books. In the talk, you'll hear about Fanny's practice, which examines the selfie, and her thesis titled Everyone You Know. Please join me in welcoming Fanny Desroches and Anton Lee.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I guess. I. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna before we start a conversation, Anton and I, and hopefully the crowd. I'm gonna read and do a little summary about what is my thesis about, and we're gonna look also at the picture just to have an idea what we're talking about. So you can slide the slide. Okay, so everyone you know explore our relation to our phone, to photography, and the practice human engage in when observing others. Referencing our social media imagery reify conventional aesthetic and perpetuate privilege, everyone you know explore the concept of authenticity, whiteness, and the uncanny of social photography. My work is not about starting a life without social media, phone, or internet. It is about looking a little bit longer at the obvious. And you can slide the slide. Okay, so I just wanted to do a little intro of I guess a connection to my past and how I ended up doing that. So the macaroni picture, the person who's playing with crumble on the chair and the nachos are part of a series I did a long time ago called Common Food. So it was a kind of a critique of conventional aesthetic, mainly found online. And by conventional aesthetic, I mean visual trend that often celebrate a white, millennial, urban culture, mainly focus on fashion, wellness, self-expression. And then the other two pictures are iPhone photo of me coming here almost 2 years ago without knowing anybody. And I feel that when you move somewhere, you don't know anybody, you spend a lot of time wandering around. And so I started to observe a lot of people, just people around on the ferry, on the boardwalk. And I kind of started to take picture of people observing stuff, but also of people taking picture of things as tourists or just people walking in the street. We can, yeah. Okay, so I guess we're gonna, and Andrew, you're the one who's doing the pace of the picture. So this is the 10 picture are coming up. It's just the one or gonna be exhibit in the next 2 weeks for my show. But in the book that is at a special character table, there's much more picture, and so it's just a kind of sense of what we're talking about. And yeah, so you can go, there's 10 picture, and we can look at them, I guess, in silence or. So yeah, after that, I'm gonna just, I selected 3 quotes from 3 books that kind of mainly direct what I'm trying to explore visually. And I'm gonna just introduce a bit the quote and what I'm trying to do. And yeah, if you want to know more, I kind of wrote that with the help of Anton Lee in the book. And yeah. Can you hear me right? Yeah. Oh, now, yeah, but yeah. Okay. So the first kind of, the introduction to that brought me to this. It's part of a chapter I read in Lacuna Park from Nicolas Mueller, who is a writer and a photographer. And he has a chapter in this book called The New Interval. And it's about, he called The New Interval this kind of 4 to 5 inch that we hold between our face and our phone when we kind of engage with it. So I'm going to read the quote, and you can also read it. We edit our camera pictures the same way we shop for sneakers online, looking at a picture and imagining our future with it. It is both a deeper submission to consumerism and a more ardent resistance to alienation that photography has previously encompassed. Increasingly, the ritual of viewing photograph is no longer about forging a tenuous connection to the past, or even about memory. It is, rather, an act of repeatedly reconstituting a presence that feels situated in time, resonating between a past and a future that suggests the now, while constantly deferring it. The picture is always present, even before it is fixed. We are the one who have come on more. So I guess what's fascinated me first was like how we, human, manipulate old. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay, sorry, so that's how we hold and use our smartphone to photograph, to record, to scroll, and to pose for a selfie. All those gestures that implicate our phone in public but in also intimate sphere go somehow often unnoticed. So I am drawn to those postures for their visual qualities as a simple studies of bodies with our phone and hands in space. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's kind of the guilty pleasure of taking photos of people taking photos. You can slide the other slides. So I guess a big part of my project is the mask. And this is a quote from the book called Authenticating Whiteness, Karens, Selfies, and Pop Stars. So I'm going to read it. Within critical cultural studies, this book's intervention is to look at the intersection of whiteness and notion of authenticity, which has not been explored by scholars to date. Integral to this project is an examination of the similarities in how whiteness and authenticity are implicitly constructed as cultural ideal, often as a seamless part of other desirable qualities. The power of whiteness reproduces itself regardless of intention, power difference, and goodwill, and overwhelmingly because it is not seen as whiteness, but as normal. White people need to learn to see themselves as white, to see their particularity. In other words, whiteness and authenticity needs to be made strange. So almost in all my photographs, someone is wearing the mask. It's a wide, bald, female-presenting mask that accentuate the role play, the masquerade, and the performance. I wrote in my thesis that acting in pretense might reveal a person more than an item. I cited also Anna Louise Keating, an American academic, who says that it is important to examine how whiteness influences social narrative, where different aspects of identity, such as bodies, symbols, and cultural norms interact. Dubrovsky, the American scholar who wrote that book, suggests that being authentic is easier for those who fit societal norms, which are often based on whiteness. So this connection between authenticity and whiteness is seen in subtle, everyday ways, especially in contexts where surveillance shapes idea about what is authentic. And when I mean surveillance, it's surveillance. It can be self-surveillance, but it's with our phone, right? The camera towards us or recording ourselves or others. This is because authenticity, both in definition and practice, is neither impartial or universal. If authenticity means not putting a show for others, there's a belief that being real true means not performing. However, to show your authentic self, you need to act in a way that matches how you imagine your true self to be, even though it's impossible for others to truly know it. So in a way, being authentic online means performing, not performing. So it's on this thought, this concept or those idea that I'm attempting to visually explore the social cultural feature of authenticity, mostly dominated by whiteness, where the masks arrive, through simple poses that feel staged, that are staged, and poses that kind of perform a certain fake candidness. I think in my picture, maybe I I don't know, maybe I look at them a bit too much, but I feel that if you glance at them, they're really, they look, people don't look like, it can look like a candid shot, but then there's like I was aiming for like an awkwardness kind of pose that feels a bit off. It's also called attention to my own myth and precognition as a white person. And then I think we can go back to the last quote. Yeah, I think this is like not the most interesting, but the most kind of accurate towards today book fair. It's the notion of social photography. So I'm going to read that, and it's from the Social Photo, a book on photography and social media, written by Nathan Jurgensen, who's a social media theorist. Okay, goes like that. The social photo is both the disease and the cure. The opportunity to put the moment to work also requires involving yourself with it, immersing yourself in it. Sometimes literally, with a selfie that inscribes your presence within the geography behind it, putting oneself in a place for others, a kind of network witnessing. The social photo is a mirror reflection of your conscious awareness of the moment as a moment, placing you both in the moment and outside the moment, manipulating it. So I'm also interested in the concept of social photography, to borrow the term of Jurgensen. So he referred social photography to be the everyday image taken and shared, like snapshot photography, domestic photography, network image. It's more like the concept of an image as opposed to a photograph. Social photography, according to Jurgensen, is less than an evolution in photography, but more of a broader development in self-expression, memory, and sociability. So social photography kind of blurred the line between image making and everyday life. And it's also a kind of a new, not really new, but a new way of seeing, speaking, and learning, especially through social media imagery. So I guess within my body of work, I kind of try to mirror social photography while performing a specific photography process. So I could say that I embedded in the contemporary status of social photo. And I think that's, yeah. So that's like just my intro, and yeah, I'm gonna let the mic to Anton.
Congratulations.
If it's easier, you could also pop the mic out. If you don't have to have it
Okay.
stand, if it's easier to talk.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge that we are gathered in the territory of Mi'kmaq people, and we come to live and thrive in this place through all different routes, and we have to acknowledge that. And I think Fanny's work is also kind of contributing that critical understanding in certain points. So I want to say that, and also want to thank Alex and Marit, Neil, and Nick for initiating this history-making moment for Halifax art community. And we're very thankful and grateful to be part of this moment. Thank you for coming out. Just a little bit of background. Fanny already mentioned it, but this publication and what she just presented is a part of Fanny's MFA thesis project. So the exhibition she mentioned briefly will be at Anna Leonore Gallery in Nascat from
Monday to Saturday, the 27th of April.
Yeah, so it will be up for 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
there'll be much more interesting pictures and a large scale and a better quality.
Yeah.
So in addition to buying the books, you're welcome to join us in the opening, and also there'll be Fanny's artist talk again at Anna Leonore Gallery.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to join us there. So I guess we have to start from the concept of the social photo. So you generously explained to us what it means and what is the theoretical background of it.
Yeah.
But can you tell us more about why this phenomenon is different from what we have been doing before, and what is so interesting to you?
I mean, I don't know if it has not been done before. I don't know if, I just think that, I don't know, for me it's like, I know I'm talking about social media and selfies, but for me it's really like an excuse, and like not really that I'm into it. It's more, I guess I always wanted to do like study psychology and like philosophy. And I think for me, it's a mix of to kind of like it's a door to kind of study or look or like explore and think about human behavior. So I feel like it's like I feel it's so there our phone, and like it's a way we kind of engage with ourselves but others. And for me, it shows. And when I've been reading about it, I think it's really interesting to kind of I don't know, like to kind of think and like reflect on our like behavior towards each other, but towards ourselves through social media, and like how we engage also, like also on the other side, what is photography now, right? I feel it's we all are like curating our own, photo life through photo. Like, I mean, maybe not everyone, but I feel like around me, my community, like everyone's taking picture, right? So we take picture always. So like and I feel like sometime, I guess I didn't think through it and like kind of like analyze. And I think like I'm not, also like this is the first time I'm talking about my project. So I feel it's like I didn't fully masticate everything. So I feel like it's also like an open discussion for everyone who want to ask or like just say comments. But because I feel it's important to reflect on our like behavior and why we interact like that, and why we judge, why we critique others online. Like I feel like there's a big, I don't know, a big like kind of side of it that we don't fully think about. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, all of you are welcome to intervene and interrupt anytime throughout our conversation. I think it is very interesting that, as you mentioned, we are living in the moment, and a lot of scholars of photography mentions that we are now becoming photo beings, like photographicus. People say that we are not only producers of photography, but we are constituted of photographs now. We cannot think about living without taking photos, sharing photos. So in a way, the photos becomes the part of living itself.
Yeah.
But what is interesting about your work is that this is not just observation, ethnography of what's going on, but this is an artistic project that has a conceptual bone in it. It is very interesting how you acknowledge on the one hand that you are part of this phenomena, but at the same time, you're trying to kind of put a distance from it, like digest the phenomena and then present it in a different way rather than just emulating it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm really like being a side of it. Like I didn't, I still have my phone in my pocket. Like I don't think I think I'm part of it fully, and I think that's why I didn't want to, like, I don't want to be like I don't want to have like a judgmental gaze towards others. I think I'm fully part of that. But I think, I think it's like, I think it's just, for me, I love work, and I love to work in art with things that I'm kind of laughing at in a cynical way. And I think it's important to laugh about myself in a way, and like to critique myself, and also like the people around me and my community. And I think that's what I aim to do, and not being like, and not all the judgmental gaze towards that, but also trying to reflect and bring kind of a certain absurdity and kind of like a fun into, like a fun, I don't know if fun is not the right word, but like kind of a, kind of like a satiric kind of vibe of like, making things awkward, but like, reflecting, to have a mirror toward myself and reflecting how it's what I am, it's what we are, but also it's also, it's good or bad, or it's a mix, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess in that way, you and I are kind of similar, that we don't really say this is bad or this is necessarily good. That's not our style. So we work well that way. But it is also interesting that the question of outside that you mentioned, this is surveillance and also self-surveillance, that we are taking photos and putting it online, circulating it, like this condition of contemporary living as seeing, constantly watching other people, at the same time expected to being watched by other people.
Yeah.
I always wonder, is there outside of that? And acknowledging maybe not, there's complete outside of that, it's interesting how we position ourselves part of it, but also trying to engage, as you mentioned, more satiric way
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, is it hard to put like keep that position, which is very precarious, I would say,
You mean like to keep the to keep
non-judgmental.
I mean, of course, I think we all judge. Like I think it's a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel we all, even when we don't want to judge, we judge people. But I think that's what I'm trying to play with myself with, and kind of like, kind of like, yeah. I think it's hard to look at yourself and, see sometimes how ridiculous things are, but also, no, I don't think it's hard. I just think it's, I think it's important. I don't know. Maybe did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. Well, question, it wasn't really a question, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, can you talk a little bit more about the choice of mask? How did it actually come to your like practice?
That's a good one. I think I was kind of I think I kind of find like connection, more strong connection with like other scholar afterwards. But at the beginning, I was attracted to it for its kind of creepy look, but also like I was reading other stuff at that time about like it's mostly like, for example, Instagram, the people who makes most money of it, it's like white female selling stuff, and it's like this kind of idea of like around like social media, but like publicity and like selling stuff, it's all around like this kind of the iconic white female selling stuff. And I was like, and I found that mask on Amazon for really cheap, and I bought a couple, and then I was carrying them around with me, and putting it on my friends, and thanks to all the people who wear those. And I was like, there's like, for me to like kind of reflect a way of like, I was like, this is like so funny, but like in a dark way. And I was like, it makes it kind of creepy, and and I was like, there's like, and also like for me the like visually, because I'm talking about the content, but like visually for me the kind of the whiteness of it, and the all with the eyes, and it sells online as a like a really realistic mask, which I found funny, but it's like it's $20. And the comment of people like are like, this is not realistic, and I'm like, yeah, of course. And and it's just like, I'm like, I don't know, this exists and it's there, and but also honestly on a truth version, I think the people I chose in my photo are really, I mean, that's something that's not about, I don't mention that, but it's like I choose people that are meaningful for me in a way, and it's like it's really rare that I pick random, like I don't want to pick random people, I pick like close friend. And a lot of my friends are in my photo already, and I was like, at first I was like, I need to I need to mask them. But I was like, this is heavy, masking is really imply a lot of stuff, and and I think I'm not also fully like, I think I think to mask people with white mask is can be heavy, and I don't know, so I guess that's but also like the posture and like I wanted something awkward, and I feel with faces, like true face on photo, you tend to be I don't know, you feel like sometimes you feel the emotion and like you connect with the person or not, but I mean there's like a possibility for that. And for the mask, I thought there was like, it kind of blocked that, and that's what I wanted. And it was not to reflect on the face itself, but more I don't know, I guess to like what's happening and like what does it mean, but also to be not too literal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's quite effective. Frankly speaking, when Fanny first started using mask, we're all like perplexed. What does it do here? But after writing thesis with you, I completely understand like what it does and what's the purpose of this thesis, as you mentioned in your writing. And your quote, the quote you brought today clearly indicates what it does. It makes whiteness visible, make it awkward. It's not just given or neutralized aspect of the people.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of photographers using mask or masquerade, but I don't think there's a racial factor, especially from white practitioner, kind of touched upon that idea of the racialized skin and the mask itself. And as you mentioned, that portraiture photography, especially, we connect with the subject in the photo. Although we know nothing about them, we somehow feel this connection to the people in the photos. But your use of the mask is kind of completely blocked that. So it's quite interesting in that way, that what the physiognomy or the facial expression actually does to the connection between the viewer and the photos themselves. I guess that leads to the idea of the authenticity, which is kind of big topic in your subject, your project. I was quite struck when you start using those phrases like staged authenticity or orchestrated spontaneity, which is quite in itself like oxymoronic or contradictory in itself. But that's exactly what you're trying to do, right? Yeah.
I think so, because I think I mean, when I read when the book Authenticating Whiteness, I think didn't fully I think I still don't fully I think there's a lot of stuff that she's talking about, but I think I think there's it made me question my own definition of what is authentic, and I think it's kind of really interesting to shift into to kind of realize that you're so wrong about an idea. And also for me, I mean, I'm talking about authenticity, but more with our phone, right? Because I think it's a large word with many concepts, and I think there's layers to it. But the relation to perform, I feel even me sometimes you look, I was oh, this person looks, true, and it's a thing that I mean, I don't know for people, but you kind of judge by a stance of what's real or true or authentic online, and I feel I think it's so not true, because there's you always you're on record, and I feel this is what kind of annoys me, but also something I'm trying to explore, is this notion of what does it what for me, what's the reflection I'm having when I'm looking at something online and I'm saying this person is authentic? What does that mean? What's my reference to that? And because the person is not, I mean, whatever it is, the person themselves is recording themselves, right? So there's a camera, there's an audience. It's not really truly real, right? So it's more the I guess my own gaze to it, to what's my definition of authenticity, and what I'm trying, what makes it kind of authentic for me, which is kind of wrong, right? Because we're all, I think it's okay to perform, but it's not, it's not about authenticity itself online. I don't know. I think it's just, I think it's a philosophical zone that I'm really interested into, the kind of the role play and the performance and kind of performing authenticity, this kind of zone of what does it mean and what is it? And I think it's also dependent of your culture. It depends of so many stuff. And so I guess I don't know if I answer your question, but it's I think there's no I don't know. I don't think there's a one sentence that summarize it and explain it. I don't think there's an explanation. I just think it's a place where I love and I enjoy thinking about, but because I found it hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Probably because we don't know who we are. I think that's why we're constantly. We all of us.
All of us.
Who knows? I mean, we don't get it. We haven't figured it out. So that's why we're constantly asking who am I?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
But I think it's I'm teaching photo history, and it's very interesting. In the very early days of photo in 19th century, there's literature that people realize what photo actually did is that taught people how to present themselves.
Yeah.
So putting up a face when you take photo. There's a moment that is in record that when people notice that these subjects, ordinary subject, learn to do it. And I think what is interesting about this project is that it's another layer that has to do with the social media. Now virality or the repeated exposure is actually becoming the guarantor of authenticity. Like the more you see, the more you're exposed, it becomes the cachet of being authentic in a way,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting because that concept of authenticity is formed between the viewers and the presenters, connected through technology
Yeah.
and the web of infrastructure.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
way. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Good
heard
job.
I heard phone. There's people have I don't know like what I have no idea what time is it. I, d-
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Please
know
ask
like
questions.
yeah.
And we can go into like a book actual publication itself.
Yeah, we can go.
Yeah, like how was the process of making it with good people at the special characters?
It was nice. It's actually was really bad. I don't. No, I mean it was. I mean it was. I'm super happy about it. They did a really good job. I think it's exciting. I think it's so nice that I don't know. It fits with the day. It fits with everything, and it was just. I designed it. Andrew helped me design it, and I don't know. It's just nice. I think it's like. Well, I mean to refer to today, like because it's an art book fair. I think also. It's nice. I mean, I love art book, but also photography book. But I think it's nice to have it in your hands because I'm like, talking about what's on the screen, and I mean, it's a really cheesy like comparison, but I think it's true. It's so amazing to have something that's in your hand, and so I think it's just like a nice little object that summarizes stuff, but it's you can touch it, and I think that's the beauty of like print matter and like this kind of. And I don't know. I think it was just it was a nice. It ended up really well, and it's I don't know, and I'm excited about
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised because the book came out very text heavy.
yeah
I mean, it's kind of reflecting the nature of this is writing, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, there are conscious or unconscious calculation on your part how to arrange pictures in it.
yeah
More and more I look at it, I realize that comes from your previous engagement with the different sizes and the black and white and color as well. Can you talk a little bit more about the arrangements
Yeah.
of photos? Yeah.
I mean, Andrew from Special Character wanted. I was like, let's just do photo book, and then I was like, no, I want the text in it. I was like, okay. I'm not a. It's the first time I'm writing in English. Thanks to Anton to help me because it's I don't know. It's like not the best text ever, but I think it's great actually to have them together because it's not for me. It's not a photo book. It's a thesis book, right? It's like the summum of a project that is like writing something about art that you're making. So I think it's working in that. So I guess because of that, I did book in my life, photo book or zine but I never put text in it. So it's the first time. So I guess I try something. And it's also, I know that, it was a small book, so it's not a huge, photo book with a photo paper. So it's really more about, I just wanted to make the text as even as the photo. And also, I think they're not heavy picture, but there's like, it's not abstract picture. So I wanted to have like room in between. And the small, it's just, I have so many picture of that, this old 2 years. Like I have like, I could do like, I don't know, like 3 rooms. Like I have a lot of picture and I made a selection because that's what, you need to do as an artist, you make a selection. But I wanted to have other photo, but also be equally kind of, I put in black and white just so they kind of fit in with the design and just also aesthetically, like with the text. But I think, I could do one day like one with all the picture and they're all even. But I just put like the series that I printed and like they're gonna be in a gallery a bit bigger. And I think I play also with color. I think color is like something really important for me. So I guess and I love a mix of black and white photo with a color photo next to it. I don't know why it's a thing. I love that. But does it answer your?
Yeah. I think it was very delicately done. Although, as I mentioned, text heavy, but certain photos are reduced in size and they're put in the black and white to go along with the embedding the text. Others colors, like quarter page size. Some are full photos but has a margins, and some other photos full but the full bleed without margins. Some are having negative recto, meaning the facing page is blank.
Yeah.
Some photos are juxtaposed, but then juxtaposed with cropped up close-up photos, so don't really have a content in it. So that kind of a balance between the
Yeah.
photos and empty space is kind of very interesting to look at. It kind of gives the flow of introducing, building up the momentum, and then cutting it and breathing, and then exiting, egressing kind of way.
So do you think it's working?
Well, we'll see about that. But it is interesting that you chose the photo on the front cover, that the other photo from this photo shoot, I believe. But the figure
Yeah.
is looking in, so
Yeah.
we cannot see the face. So it's kind of luring the reader into the book.
Yeah.
And the photo in the back cover is actually kind of arms jutting out from the photo.
Yeah,
so it's kind of
the first slide, Andrew.
Yeah.
Like this one, we can see the yeah. I know. Because I have
yeah. So
Why? I mean,
and then this pink is actually repeated inside of the
Yeah.
back cover. So it's in a
Yeah.
way that skin of the photo book cover is kind of a barrier, but also very inviting.
yeah.
Yeah, which is a kind of interesting
mean,
experiment.
It's also the red from the martinis.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, which was in the middle of the book. Yeah, and the photo book, the book size itself is also kind of similar to 8x6. The photo.
It's
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
But also wanted to like I like small book, but when you open them and they close by themselves, I don't. I mean, I like it, but it's not. I like that you can open it and look at photos, and all my photos are in rectangle, like horizontal.
Horizontal.
So I wanted to be able to, put it on the desk and look at the good size of the photo. I think that's why, I think it's also like for me designing a book, it's also about aesthetic choice. So I don't know. I think
Do you have time for maybe one question if anyone has anything they want to ask?
yeah, Mode.
I'm curious about, like, you're talking about taking pictures as kind of claiming maybe branches of your identity that you're performing for others, like for an audience. And I'm curious of the process of, like, doing your master's with photography and, like, taking pictures to kind of, like, present and defend what your thesis is going to be about. I don't know if there's anything in there that you want to share.
I'm not sure to understand what was the kind of the question.
I'm just how, because if you guys are talking about the act of taking photos as kind of like a personal defense of one's like identity,
I mean, is
that's kind of what I was getting.
but like me as a personal person.
Or just like no, or if you want, but more like I'm curious on the process of completing your master's.
Yeah.
And like taking pictures for that project.
Like my thesis project.
Yeah. Does it
Like
I'm wondering if it's like you yourself are kind of creating an identity for this project and that, or like to be able to put all these pictures together in like 1 minute. Is that like
okay. I think I understand a bit the question. I mean, I don't know. I think it's because when you do a thesis, you have to find a subject, and that happened. But I don't know if I'm gonna answer really your question. But I think like I'm really done with the mask. Is that I'm tired of looking at them. But also I think what it opened to me as like a complete project by itself is I think I'm down to pursue kind of the relationship to like my skin color and like authenticity and like this kind of correlation to human behavior. But I don't think it's personal. I think everything we do is a bit personal, but it's not. I don't want it to be about myself. I don't know if I'm answering your.
Did you have a question?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I really enjoyed your work. I thought it was really cool. And there's
Thanks.
a really cool kind of like
Thanks.
sociological lens to it. But I'm wondering, as like the creator of these photographs, how your relationship to yourself and camera has changed at all through the process of documenting kind of others in that relationship. Do you still like engage with like selfies and taking pictures for the moment and that kind of
like my own personal practice, like with Instagram, for example. I never took selfie. I'm not a I'm not a selfie person, but I don't.
You
You
cannot
know
say that.
what?
You cannot say that.
I mean, I think it's a personal choice. I don't like to look at.
1 hour of a selfie.
But I mean about others people's self. Like I feel like I like to take photo, but I never took photo myself. And from people who know me, when they take a photo of me, I'm like no. So I think it's like a relation with me and the camera. But I mean, I love. I think I think it's a love and hate relationship I have with like social media. I think I like a lot of people. I enjoy it a lot because I love images and I discovering so much cool stuff online. But also, it makes me wonder what I'm doing with my life and like what the fuck am I? And I think it's that, and I think that's what it started with, like this kind of, and also some people are so like. Freely like something in front of their and like which I'm not, and I don't know. I think it's like it's kind of like that's why I think it's the zone of about that. It's a bit personal on that level, but I didn't want to make it about just my relationship to it, and more like hopefully a collective-ish way of looking at something. But I think it started with like this kind of like looking at people you used to know and like it's I think it's really. It can be really like depressing, but it can also be really good. So I think it's like I think there's a community and like to share our what's happening today and stuff online, and it's like engaging, and it's also a publicity, but it's also like a way to create a community. And it's happening in real, but it started like with images and online, but also you can be so harsh with yourself at looking at people who are I think there's also there's a play with online, and I think the play still affect me from some people. I don't know. It makes, yeah.
Do one more and then we'll end it. I'll say, do one more question. I'll say some words and then we'll.
I just want to know about your choice to keep the 4x6 horizontal layout for all of the photos when you're talking about Instagram or social media and that sort of format.
I don't like a square picture, but I think
Like portrait mode, or like when you're using a phone to take a photo, it's mostly like vertical.
I know. I think it's a aesthetic. I mean, I don't know. It's I think I'm attracted to that, but because I think, okay, it kind of referred to. I think I started to do photo because I really love to have a box full of photo that you print at the pharmacy, and they're like you look at them, and I have those. I don't know where, somewhere, but it's like it's like you look at. I like the format of like this kind of classic old photo. And I start photo doing that a lot with camera, like the camera you buy and you throw it after, but with a film inside. And I think for me, maybe it's tradition that I should break up, but I like this format. For me, like a photo, I'm not attracted to a horizontal picture. I mean, I don't know. Landscape mode, I think it's just like something you're attracted to or not. Maybe I should think more about it. I don't know.
No, just
Yeah. Andrew, you can put the last.
last one.
Andrew, you can put the last slide because it says thank you. But it's also it's nice.
So I think that's a good picture to end on. The segue I can make with this picture is like I was wondering like because under the mask there's a friend.
Yeah.
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 And I was wondering if those friends, while like the process of creating that scenario or that like that imagery, like does the your relationship with that friend bring up something in your creating process? Like
Oh yes, a lot.
influence
Of course.
or
Yeah, a lot. I think that's a big. I think it's like that's like on the I don't mind sharing, like it's like on the personal side that I don't think that's what I'm trying to express. But yeah, of course, I think I tried to do photo with people I didn't really know, and I couldn't take the photo. Like I mean I took the photo, but I couldn't select the photo, and they didn't work. So I think I think friends and like people around me, like I think it's every time is a moment, and it's also like I'm staging stuff, but half of it, and I think it's I need to be comfortable with the person. I think the person need to be comfortable, and it's all about the moment more than just the picture itself. So every picture, I mean, some because like I had a tease to do, but like in general in my practice, it's like a moment, and then I'm carrying stuff, and if it feels right, if the color, like the light is good, or if but yeah, of course, it's like I mean, it doesn't change a relationship, but it's just I think an intimate moment in a way, and I need to be like, yeah, there's like a whole process we could say, but like it's really yeah, I think it's like I wouldn't do picture of people if they were not my friend. Well, we don't know what the future is, but like like this yeah, I think it's like it's a all I mean, that's why I love doing that. It's like to go with friends somewhere on the beach when it's foggy, and this is one of my friends Joss, and it's like it was so much fog that we swam naked because they're like literally you can see it in front of a meter in front of you, and we brought like a beer and I brought mask, and we just it was like it's a moment, and we chill and we stay like for a couple hours, and then I took picture, and it's like and I bring fabric and clothes, but it's also like the moment is more we're going for a picture, but it's also more about the moment. So yeah.
That friend become part of the creative process. Like,
Yeah.
is it like all staged by you, or
No, I usually people do like nowadays it's like the joke is every time I take a picture just for fun, like not for art, my friend are all like, because in my other work people don't smile, and all my friends are not smiling when I post. Like people are used to like, so they're used to like being around me taking photo, but I think I'm also there's like a free play of like the person, and then I'm like, okay, can you do that? Or, okay, don't move, and like I don't know, like there's it's a teamwork. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
That was a conversation between Fanny Desroches and Anton Lee. Everyone you know. Fanny's show opens Monday night at the Anna Leonowens and is up from April 16th to 27th. Her book, Everyone You Know, is available at the Special Characters table. We're going to move to the next program in about 10 minutes. It's Joe Cobden. So thank you, Fanny and Anton.
Thanks, Anna.